Hello students, in this video we are going to cover chapter 5th of class 6th. The name of the chapter is India, that is Bharat, okay? So students, this is the exact line written in our constitution in article 1, India, that is Bharat. They have mentioned the thing in this particular way, okay? So what they are trying to say is they are trying to say that our India country is known by two names, that is India and Bharat, okay? India is a term which is given by foreigners of Persian influencers basically and Greeks, and Bharat is a term which is given by Indian peoples itself. Okay, so let's study how basically this term has derived. Okay, so in the beginning of the chapter, some overview of India is given. Okay, which is very basic to understand. I give you a broad way. For example, in this intro part is given some basic informations of India. Okay, for example, this is the top part of India. Okay, just take an example. Okay, I'm denoting in the neighboring countries with green color. For example, here is Pakistan, here is Nepal, Bangladesh, China, Afghanistan, okay, Bay of Bengal and Arabian Sea. Okay, these are some neighboring countries of India. Okay, and what they have mentioned, they have also mentioned that uh, these are the North Bhutan to the northwest. Okay, these are some neighboring countries of India. Okay, it is surrounded by Indian Ocean with the Arabian Sea of the west and Bay of Bengal on the east. Clear. Now, in the north, the Himalayan mountains range forms a natural boundary. The central regions have fertile plains like Indo-Gangetic plains where the important Gangetic rivers flows. The western region like Thar deserts, while the surrounding parts includes the Deccan plateaus and coastal plains. Okay, that means uh, here we have coastal plains, okay, and in the central we have a perfect fertile land, okay, and here we have Gangetic plains. Clear. So India was very different with these features. We have understood that India was known by several names like Bharatvarsha, Jambudvipa and Bharat, okay. Okay, so this was all the basic introduction. Apart from this, they have given that India has been known by many names. These names are given by people who lived here and by some visitors from other countries. Okay, we find these names in ancient text stories written by travelers, pilgrims, other inscriptions carved in stone. By exploring these sources, we can learn about fascinating journey of India through time. Okay, so to learn this fascinating journey, that how these names actually has derived. Okay, and what were the different names and how we have approached at the final conclusion, we are going to study of these things in this chapter. So let's first study that how Indians named India, that how first India name came in India. Okay, so the Rig Veda, okay, this Rig Veda, among all the four Vedas of particular Hinduism religions, okay, so Rig Veda is the oldest Veda, around 3500 years ago. Okay, so in this oldest text written several thousands of years ago. Okay, so in this ancient times, the northwest region of India subcontinent is called Sapta Sindhava. Okay, Sapta Sindhava is basically Indus River, which is carrying seven tributaries with it. That particular term is known as Sapta Sindhava according to historical text. Okay, which means the land of seven rivers. The word Sindhava comes from Sindhu, a term used for Indus rivers or several rivers in general. Okay, Sindhu is a Sanskrit word. Okay. Now, names of different regions in ancient literature. As time passed, more names for different parts of India began to appear in literature. One of the most famous Indian texts, the Mahabharata, lists many regions that are familiar to us today. For example, see, uh, we have to see that how ancient literatures mark the parts of India historically. Okay, because before naming the country name, okay, we studied the text, the historical text, the ancient historical texts, which are very famously known. Okay, to understand it, how earlier peoples called these places. Okay, so for that we came to know that Kashmira, which is now Kashmir, okay, is the Kashmir name is also has come from the ancient word used by ancient peoples, that is Kashmira. Okay, Kurukshetra is a part of Haryana today. Okay, so this is very important to learn which part is known as what earlier times. Okay, Vanga is a part of Bengal today, and Pragjyotisha is a roughly today's Assam. Okay, Kutcha is today's Kutch region. Kerala is more or less the same as present state of Kerala. Okay, so these are today's name, and these were the ancient names, which you can see that they are very similar to each other. Okay, the earlier known name for entire India subcontinent appears in Mahabharata, a poem written around few centuries BC uses the term Bharat Varsha, clear, and Jambudvipa. So, okay, this is very important that these were the two names of Bharat which were used at that time, Bharat Varsha and Jambudvipa. Okay. Now, the term Bharatvarsha refers to the entire Indian subcontinent. It means the country of Bharat. So that means Bharatvarsha is representing the countries of Bharat. Okay. And the Bharat originates from the Rig Veda. I had told you Rig Veda is the ancient Vedas of Hinduism religions, where it refers to one of the main Vedic group of people. Okay, in the literature of later period, it mentions several kings named as Bharat. Okay, that means several kings has also mentioned the word Bharat in its Vedas. Jambudvipa means the island of the fruits of Jambu tree. Okay, this is also very important that Jambudvipa refers to the tree of Jambu tree. Okay, and Bharatvarsha refers to the Bharatvarsha refers to the country of Bharat. Okay, so this is important thing. Next, we have native Indian tree, which is also called Jambul tree. Okay, this is also known by the term Jambudvapa. Okay, Jambudvipa. Now, Malabar tree, etc. All over its came refers to represent India's subcontinent. Okay, so we have understood three names, which has come from Jambudvipa. That is Malabar plum, Jambul tree, and Jambul tree. Okay, Ashok was an Indian emperor who ruled around 250 BC, around 250 before Common Era, used the term Jambudvipa, okay, for whole of India in one of his inscriptions. That's why this Jambudvipa term became famous, because this is also used by Ashok in his manuscripts. At that time, India included the areas of present-day Bangladesh, Pakistan, Afghanistan. Okay, that's why we don't use Jambudvipa in today's history, but this word became, become a crucial role in ancient text. That's why we are giving importance to it. But generally, we don't use it because earlier, Afghanistan, Pakistan, and Bangladesh were also included in these areas. Clear? Okay, this is a test, beautiful image which you can see that how different places are known by different names at that time. Okay, a few centuries ago, Bharat became the widely acceptable name for the Indian subcontinent. Okay, because earlier times, the region above the region above the south portion is called as Bharat, which is better to understand in today's, which is better to relate in today's time. Okay, but earlier Jambudvipa is not that much relatable because Pakistan, Bangladesh, and all these are not the part of India today. Okay, Vishnu Puran defines Bharat as the country that lies north of the ocean, south of the snowy mountain. It's called Bharat. Okay, that's very relatable of our country's part today. The name of Bharat is still used today. In North India, the term Bharat is used, while in South India, the term Bharatam is used. Okay, different part of the country had similar definitions for India. For example, 2000 years old Tamil poems praises a king whose name is known from Cape Kumari in the south, the great mountain Himalaya in the north, and oceans in the east and west. Okay, this shows that the ancient Indians had a clear understanding of their country's geography. Okay, so from their old text and geographical documents, we found it that the Cape Kumari also knew about the geographical features of India. Okay, that means they established great mountains and oceans in east west. Okay, they already had this basic idea. So from this we came to know that earlier people will also have idea about geographical features of India. Okay, which is a very good thing. Next we have how foreigners name India. Now we have seen that how Bharat named by, sorry, now we have seen that how these different terms we are giving to places, okay, as per their historical names, okay, to give respect to these these monuments, these features, these files and all. Next we have how foreigners name India. So the Persians and the name Hind. Okay, so the Persian ancient inhabitants of Iran, this is important, ancient inhabitants of Iran, who Persians were the first foreigners to mention India. In the 6th century BCE, a Persian emperor led a military campaign and gained control over the Rhine around Indus River, which was earlier called Sindhu. Okay, that means when Persian inhabitants of Iran came to India, they controlled over the parts of Indus River, okay, which was earlier known as Sindhu. Sindhu is a Sanskrit word which means Indus River, okay. So Sindhu word was used at that time, okay, but later, this is important to understand that this is a term of Sindhu, okay. This is Sindhu term, okay. So this H. So this H was not in Greek language. Okay, you can study also that this H. So this H term was not in the Greek language which they used, so they removed this word H. Okay, so how did they transform the Sindhu word? Okay, after removing this H, they also replaced S also. Okay, to better pronunciation or whatever be the reason. So they start using Sindhu in the form of Hindu. Okay, and this is how Hindu term was started using. Okay, let's study in more detail. The Persian adapted this in their language referring to the region as Hindu. That means they were using these terms. It's important to know that in ancient Persian, Hindu was geographical term and had no connection to the Hindu religion. Okay, so Hindu is a geographical term here. It's not connected with religion anymore. Okay, this is a geographical term which was used by Persian, ancient Persian. Okay. Next we have the Greeks and the name Indoi and Indaik. So based on Persian sources, the ancient Greeks referred to the region as Indoi or Indaik. They altered the name by dropping the initial H from Hindu since the letter H did not exist in Greek language. Okay, which I told you. Okay, now they will also later start using the words Indoi and Indaik as per the historical text. Okay, by Persian sources and the ancient Greeks. Now the Chinese and the name of Yintu. See, Buddha was born in India, okay, and Chinese respected them a lot, okay. So in order to that respect, they also altered the name. Okay, they go Sindhu was the meaning of Tianzo in Chinese language, okay, but he which means heavenly master. Okay, so he reflects the respect of ancient Chinese for India as the land of Buddha. Okay, so he also used this word as Tianzu. Clear? So one more name has established. This is how. Next, we have the term Hindustan. So you might familiar with the term Hindustan, but it was first used in Persian inscriptions around 1800 years ago. Over Hindustan became the most common term used by many invaders to describe the subcontinents. Okay, because when the Persian leaders started using the term Hindu, that this is how Hindustan term was also started using, and this also became very common to define the Indian subcontinents. Okay, so here our chapter complete where we have understand that Bharat and India, how these terms has come into our life, and what basically reflects the names, that how ancient peoples and ancient text has marked such names in their history. Okay, so these things really matters. So let's move on to the exercise portion. First, we have the northwest region of India was known as, this is very simple, we have understood that northwest region was known as Sapta Sandhava, okay, which means 7 continents in this river and its tributaries. The word Sindhu refers to the word Sindhu is a Sanskrit word which is refers to use in this river, okay. If this is a doubt in your mind that why in this river is denoting the entire country, because all over the world India is basically known with this river. Okay, this is a gigantic place which is very, very fertile. So this is known all over the world. So with this place particularly, we define our country. Clear? Okay, so the Mori, an emperor who used the name of Jambudva, we have studied this in the chapter to describe India was. So he was Ashok to use this term. The term Jambudva refers to which tree? So he refers to Jamun tree. The snowy mountains referred to in the Vishnu Puran was, so they are Himalayas, clear? The north part of India. The Indian constitution was first written in, so it was written in both Hindu and English, but English is the most appropriate answer here because it was first written in English but also Hindi also. Okay. The Greek refers to India as Indoi. Clear? What does the term Sapta Sabdhava means? Land of seven rivers. Okay. Dash was the name of Rig Vedic tribe. So the Rig Vedic tribe, Dash was the name of a Rig Vedic tribe. So I think they're talking about the Sindhu, okay? So Bharat, basically the Bharat may be the appropriate answer. Okay, because Bharat was the name of a Rig Vedic tribe. Okay, let's confirm it. Here, the Rig Veda is India's oldest text, written several thousand years ago. In this ancient text, the northwest regions of India subcontinent is Sapta Sindhava. Okay, so the correct answer is Sapta Sindhava, not Bharat. The word Sindhu refers to Dash River, so obviously this refers to Indus River. Dash was one of India's most famous texts. So which is India's most famous text? Uh, they're talking about the Rig Veda. Okay, the Persians were the ancient inhabitants of. So they are inhabitants of Iran basically. Okay, in the south, India is known as. So in the south, India is known as Dravidia historically. The Indian Ocean came into force in 1950. This is easy. Okay, now let's solve some true or false questions. Okay. Okay, so the Rig Veda describes the entire geographical India. So this is definitely the wrong option. Okay, Rig Veda defines only the India portion, the land of India. Okay, the Vishnu Puran describes the entire subcontinent. So the Vishnu Puran describes the entire subcontinent. So this is the correct answer. Okay, in a short time, Jambudva included what is today's India, part of Afghanistan, Bangladesh, and Pakistan. So this is correct. These things are in the bugger for all these. That's why Jambudva is less less acceptable than Bharat. Okay. So this is, I'm sorry, this is true. The Mahabharata lists many regions including Kashmir, Kutch, and Kerala. This is absolutely correct. Okay, the term Hindustan first appeared in the Greek inscriptions more than 2000 years ago. No, this is false. In ancient Persia, the word Hindu refers to Hindu religion. They are saying that the term Hindustan refers to Hindu religion. Okay, so this is not good. This is just a Persian inscription. Bharat is a name given to India by foreign travelers. Wrong. India is given to. Okay, here India should become. Okay. Let's solve the match the following questions. Okay, Kashmira is what? So I told you this thing is important. Match the following questions will also come on the base of it. Okay, so Kashmira is more or less today's Kashmir. Okay, Kashmira. Clear? Kurukshetra is basically a part of Haryana. Wanga is a part of Bengal, and Pratyushita is a roughly today's. Okay, this just you have to memorize. No option. Okay, so now let's do some question answers. So what is Rig Veda? Rig Veda is the oldest text, okay, about all the four Vedas based on second Hindu religions basically. Okay, in which Rig Vedas is the oldest, around 300-500 years old. Okay, and this is the one who Sapta Sandhava, all these main terms has arrived. So which area is known as Sapta Sandhava? Sapta Sandhava is the area of seven rivers. Seven rivers where Indus River is dividing it to its tributaries. Okay, so due to seven rivers, seven tributaries, and along with Indus. Name any three regions mentioned in the Mahabharata. So write any three. When do we first come across name for the entire Indian subcontinent? first come across So when do we first come across a name for the entire subcontinent? Okay, so it was through Vedic text and all, where we came to know about the first of Bharat. Okay, through which we first defined the Indian subcontinents. Okay, so Ashok also defined Indian subcontinents with the name of Bharatvarsha. Okay, and the Jambidwa is not widely used because Afghanistan, Pakistan, and Bangladesh was also included in that area. What were the two terms used in the Mahabharata to describe the Indian subcontinent? So the two terms were very obvious: Bharat and India. Bharatvarsha or Jambudva, okay? Because they are talking about Mahabharata, not constitution. Clear? Next, what names did the Chinese use to refer to India? So what did they give? We studied it above. This is false, not true. Okay. They give the name Tianzhu. Clear? So the correct answer is Tianzhu. According to book, okay? Otherwise, there is also another name. What name does it use to describe India? So we are using two terms by to describe India, that is Bharat and India. Okay, if they are talking about the historical text, and the one is Bharatvarsha. Okay, because they already use the term India, so we have to write Bharatvarsha and Jambudvipa. Okay, Jambudvipa. Clear? Next, what does Sampa Santhawa mean? So it literally means the seven rivers. Okay, what is the meaning of Bharatvarsha? So Bharatvarsha means the land of Bharat. Okay, land of all the Bharats. Land of Bharats. What do the two terms Bharatvarsha and Jambudvipa mean? So these questions are there again and again asking in different languages, but the concept is same. Okay, Bharatvarsha is again the land of Bharat, where Bharats live. This is the first term used to describe the Indian subcontinent. Next we have Jambudva. Okay, the Jambul tree. Okay, it is also known by different names. Okay, but I have already mentioned so many times that some other places are also a part of this, so we widely used Bharatvarsha. Okay, and through which Bharat term has derived. What is the origin of the name Bharat? So the origin of the name Bharat is Rig Veda. Okay, okay, who are the first foreigners to mention India and what name did they give? The first foreigners to mention India and what name did they give is Indigo. Okay, the first name they give was Indoi. Indoi or Indigo. Okay, they were similar names. Next, we have what does the Indian constitution state about India and Bharat? So this is that thing which I told you in the beginning of the video. That is India. That is Bharat. India. That is Bharat. Now describe the evolution of the name Bharatvarsha. Okay, and one more thing. This is a text of Article 1. Okay, this is a text of Article 1. Okay, India. That is Bharat. Describe the evolution of the name Bharatvarsha. So Bharatvarsha was used by Ashok in their epics. Okay, you can write Ashok in their epics in several times. Clear? How did the concept of Jambudva emerge? How it has been interpreted? So we have already discussed this question so many times. Next, what is the significance of Mahabharata in Indian history? So Indian history significance is, significance of Indian history is that they have given us the name which we widely used, mostly used, commonly used to describe Indian subcontinent. And impact, what is the impact of it? This significance is we are now using this term widely in our constitution. Okay, so here our this beautiful chapter completes. I hope you understood the chapter. Thank you.